Hello and welcome back. In this video, I am going to take you through a prototype that I've built that is an AI chatbot. And we're going to ask the question, what if every child had an AI chatbot that schools could use to support and understand their needs? AI is moving really, really quickly, but I think it can do more than just stuff like this, more than generative tasks that generate images and lesson plans and content. I think there's more we can do around analysis of pupil data. Already schools are expressing how they're using AI, and some are referring to chatbots, but what they're using chatbots for in the main is allowing students to question and interrogate data sets in relation to the lessons they're having or the content they're learning. What I'm suggesting is using qualitative data analysis to support children's needs. I think the impact of this project or this approach will be compound. So there'll be a compound effect that will increase as the more time it's used and the more data is fed into it. Basically, when I'm saying AI chatbot, what I'm really talking about is a local LLM. This will allow immediate, detailed and specific pupil support for any situation, task or activity, extract ongoing value from every professional interaction and piece of advice, and support can be updated and accessed daily by staff. I think this is really, really important and real game changer for supporting children with additional needs. Very quickly, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page of what an LLM is and what it actually does. So a large language model, or LLM, is essentially a piece of software that allows advanced pattern recognition. So if we use this example to explain, this is a football pitch. If you trained an LLM or large language model on this, and you trained it on what this is, so saying it's a line, what this is, we're going to say that's a rectangle, and define it so two sides are the same length and the other two sides are the same length as well. It's got four corners. If you asked it what the lines were, it'd be able to tell you. If you asked it what the rectangle was, it'd be able to tell you. But if you asked it what a circle was, it wouldn't be able to tell you because it hasn't been trained on that. And this is the beauty of the local large language model, is it only responds or uses the data that you feed it. So in our example, if you feed it pupil data, it will only answer questions and identify opportunities from the data it has fed into it. In my opinion, despite the very hard work of all professionals working with children with additional needs, and I classify myself as one of those, we are ineffective at collecting, collating and analysing and using SEND data. What I'm suggesting is that we use a private and secure local LLM that's trained on pupil data and expert advice to allow us to have an organisational memory. It won't forget any data it's been given, and it will constantly use and be updated, basing all of its output on the data it has. I think there's an opportunity in the area where I work, which is an SEMH partnership provision, and enhanced provisions across and also special schools, because I think they are very clear on their goal. They're very clear on what frameworks they're working under. So therefore it allows us to be really clear on what the objective is and what the outcomes are. The benefit of this it will have, as I've said before, massively impact organisational memory. We won't forget anything that we've written or support we've been given for the child. It'll be really effective at onboarding staff, as I'll show you in a minute. The advice and support will be available 24/7. How many times have we had to wait for professionals to give us advice? And it will have a compound impact. So the information I get or the advice I get from an EP 2 years ago will still be in the system and therefore still being useful and being able to be updated. So I'm now going to give you a live demo of a prototype local LLM I've made using free tools on my own personal computer. I've built this using the Ollama AI software and also the AnythingLLM software together. So combined, they allow me to basically create my own local LLM on my computer. I'm going to talk through 3 scenarios. The first one will be if a new teaching assistant supporting a child for the first time, what do they need to know? The second scenario will be for a teacher planning sports day and needs to understand what adaptations need to be made to support a pupil. And the third scenario will be a senior leader that wants to prioritise elements of staff training in TPP based on the additional SEMH needs of a pupil. So, scenario 1. So here is AnythingLLM. This is the free software that I'm using to build the prototype. On the left-hand side, there's a number of workspaces that you can create. I've only created one for this project, so looking at SEMH pupil data analysis. On the left-hand side, you can see the queries I've already run. Here is all the actual data. So there's lots of fictional characters based on Marvel characters. So you've got Bruce Banner, Captain America, Nick Fury, etc., etc. And for Bruce, we've got some behaviour incident reports, exclusion reports, and a timeline of events. I'll show you the paper copies of those as well. So if we go back to the actual local LMM, I am going to create a new thread just to demonstrate the point. So here is a classic view that you've seen before. So we either upload a document or send a chat. Just to save me typing, I am going to copy the first prompt. Now, prompt writing is the most important part of this. So here is the prompt. I'm going to run it. We'll try to press button. There we go. So this is for a new member of staff. It's not particularly quick because obviously it's on my local computer. That's the difference between cloud-based ones. They're on supercomputers of large multinational companies. This is on my computer. So it tells you exactly the references where it's getting the data from, and it starts to tell you what's happening. Now I will pause the video in a moment and just let it load. Fantastic. And what I really like about it, you can see the citations there of where it's getting information from. So it's fully transparent, back to source documents. The second scenario is going to be a teacher planning sports day and that needs to understand what adaptations need to be made to support a pupil. Okay, let's look at the next scenario now. So I'm going to create a new thread. I'm going to go to here. Again, I'm going to copy the prompt because nobody wants to see me type. I paste it into there, press go, try again, press go, and off it goes again. I'm going to pause it here and let it just load and then come back to you. Okay, and there we go. Once again, here's the citations if you want to go back to your source documents. Imagine if you've got hundreds of documents, that'd be really, really effective. The third scenario will be a senior leader wanting to prioritise elements of staff training to support a child. Okay, let's look at the third scenario now. So once again, I will copy and paste it. This time, though, I'm also going to upload the document it's asked for. Now, where is it? Let's have a look. I think it's here. ZZ there we go. So this is the framework I want it to consider when making this assessment. So again, it's really specific on the data it's looking at, based on what I'm feeding it. So there's significantly less chance of hallucination or mistakes because it's only looking at the specific documents that I'm asking it to. Fantastic. Okay, so now let's ask it something that it can't possibly answer. Now, I have not asked it, uploaded any information about football, so let's see what happens. There we go. So it's saying it can't answer that because it doesn't have the information, which is really, really powerful and gives a lot of confidence in the system. So that's the example prototype that I've built. Obviously, I'll be looking to build one on my work computers with the IT team support. But I have developed a workflow as well that I think will be really effective in delivering this and executing on this. So on a daily basis, there'll be staff. They will provide daily insights in line with the framework that they're operating in. We use 6 core strengths and TPP. This will be recorded in voice. I want to minimize admin as much as possible. Something like the Otter AI app. This will then be automatically transcribed by the AI and fed into the local LMM or chatbot. We'll then obviously add SEND frameworks to it. So in my case, it will be 6 core strengths and TPP. So the LMM understands which areas and what our approach is. The beauty of this is if we change the approach, we just change the framework and write the prompt differently. We then write the prompt. We can get various outcomes from planning, support, teaching and learning, insights, any adaptations that need to be made, or risk assessments. Then when we have access to educational psychologists or inclusion partners or any other specialists, if there's a meeting, we can transcribe the meeting. If there's a report, we can feed the report in. This adds extra layers of detail and information for the LMM to conduct its analysis and identify opportunities for us. And of course, parents and carers can feed into this as well. So I think this is a really effective workflow that will allow us to, with minimum admin, capture insights and allow us to effectively identify support for pupils with additional SEMH needs and any other additional needs. I have had a little bit of a play with looking at the estimated costs, and these are estimated. And this is at the moment what I'm going to be doing. So it's for one provision on one computer. This is my work computer. We use the Microsoft IT infrastructure. If you use Google as your infrastructure, I think you've got a real opportunity using Notebook. There's some really effective things that have been used. I've seen examples of teachers and staff using Notebook to do something very, very similar. Here is a very basic overview. I mean, the costs are really just the time of the IT team to implement it. Obviously, IT people want to make sure there's no security risks and what have you. So this is just my initial research. I'm not an IT expert, but I do have an understanding. I hope you found that useful. That is an overview of the project and prototype I'm currently looking to run in the SEMH provision that I run. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'm really interested in opening a conversation about this and seeing if any other schools are doing it. Thanks for your time. Have a good day. I'll speak to you soon. Thanks. Bye.